It's come to my attention that when I talk about protein on here, some people have thought that I'm promoting the keto diet. And actually, if you look back through past posts, I have never once actually promoted the keto diet. I'm just talking about protein in general. I am not one of the keto zealots, and in this video, I think I'm going to explain myself just a little bit there. But I have spoke about keto before on here, and we'll go through a quick rendition of this right now. But no, I am not one of those people that just thinks that is silly enough to think that all you need is fat and protein. You do need fat and protein in your diet. You cannot live without them. That is not possible. The only two macronutrients that are essential, meaning that your body cannot make their own, are fat and protein. Your body can make its own carbohydrates. That doesn't mean that you can't still benefit from carbohydrates. It's a very silly thing. There's nuance in all of this anyway. So anyway, before I get into this, there's a link down below. If you click that link, we can talk one-on-one about this. You can come out here, you can talk with the nutritionist, Tori, you can talk with me, you can ask us questions. Also, the comment section down below there. It's a great place. Definitely leave a comment. It also helps us with the algorithm, the Facebook algorithm. So if you want to promote a healthy lifestyle, please like and comment down below. Ask us lots of questions. I enjoy them. But when it comes to the keto diet, it's a little silly from the standpoint of it is not very feasible for your living in society. So you're basically socializing, you're ostracizing yourself from society, because let's say you go over to a person's house and they're serving lasagna. Are you really not going to eat it? It's just super silly. Of course you are. And yes, your body can make its own carbohydrates, but that doesn't mean that that's altogether what you should be forcing your body to do. The keto diet was really made, was originally used for people that were kids that were having, seizures. So unless you have some kind of very serious autoimmune issue, or you're having seizures and your doctor thinks that this is a way that could help, then yes, the keto diet makes perfect sense. Otherwise, there are some foods that you just wouldn't want in your diet. Seed oils like canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil. What are some of the other ones? Safflower oil, sunflower oil. Some of these things just are pretty terrible for us. Your skin is going to improve. You're probably going to have less inflammation in your body. Things are going to go well. So the foods that you do eat do matter. And so I'm not trying to say that all vegetables are good and that all fruits are good. But eating your fruits and vegetables is a very good idea. Now, if you're trying to cut weight, one of the easiest things to do is to focus on the most stable macronutrient group, which is protein. Protein is basically never going to turn into fat. The body has a very difficult time turning protein into fat, so it's a good one to use. And so if you do take in 1 gram per pound of body weight, 4 ounces is about the size of a deck of cards, or about the size of the palm of your hand. That's about 25 grams. Obviously, if you go over to Google, it's going to tell you something different. But also, if we burnt the deck of card portion of meat that you're eating, it's not going to come out to a perfect 25 grams either. It's an approximation. So anyway, hello, Joanne. You're going to get it on a video. We're live. Would you like to say hi? Joanne says hi. Anyway, the keto diet has its place. It's just very, very rare. And just because I talk about protein on here a little bit doesn't mean that I'm a keto zealot. And I don't think there's really much use in being so one way about almost anything. There's nuance to most of this stuff, and it can be beneficial to thinking through that nuance. But when it comes to losing fat, one of the first things to do is just to look at that most stable macronutrient group, which is protein. Prioritize that on your plate. So you might have, let's say that you're 150 pounds and you're trying to get 1 gram per pound of body weight. So you need 50 grams of protein per meal if you're going to eat 3 meals per day. So you need 2 deck of cards of animal protein on your plate. So what do? You sit down to eat. You have, a little bit of fruit. You have your choice of vegetable, and then you have your grass-fed ribeye right there. And what should you eat first? It's probably not the things that are super sweet, probably not the things that are easy to overconsume, let's say you had mashed potatoes on there. Just don't eat your mashed potatoes first. Eat your protein first, and it'll satiate you so that you're less likely to eat all the other stuff. For instance, these people that are having tons of craving issues, it's probably because you're not eating enough protein and your body's just begging you to eat more. And I very rarely sit down in nutritional consultations where people are I very commonly sit down in nutrition conversations where people are getting about 25% of what they probably should be getting for their protein intake. So anyway, this is just a little bit on protein. I am not a keto zealot. I don't think that keto is useful for most people. However, there are some good things that you can take away from keto, so I wouldn't rule it out. The interesting thing when keto started becoming more mainstream was we figured out just how much more important carbohydrates were for protein, for muscle synthesis, and for so maintaining muscle and growing muscle. So we knew this before, but I don't think people really I don't think it's stuck in their head until this really kicked through. So on a caloric deficit where you're trying to lose weight, people lost more muscle in the keto diet. In a caloric surplus where you're trying to gain weight or gain muscle, people had a harder time gaining on a keto diet. So carbohydrates play a significant role in gaining and keeping muscle tissue. So going so low carb that your body has to produce its own carbohydrates is a little silly. We can still use carbohydrates, but most people have just the appetite that humans have for carbohydrates is huge, and we're able to just slug so much of it away because it's not satiating. It doesn't make you feel full, whereas protein does make you feel full. So it's a good one to chime in on. Anyway, that's enough of my little rant for the day. Hope you have a good one. And if you click down below, you get to come in here, free one-on-one with us for an hour, and I hope you take advantage of that. Click down there.